What if the secret to living a creative life wasn't talent or luck, but courage? In Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear, Elizabeth Gilbert shares her insights into overcoming fear and embracing creativity. This is the story of how I learned to invite inspiration into my life, take risks, and live boldly in the pursuit of creative fulfillment. Through Gilbert's wisdom, I discovered that creativity is not about perfection but about curiosity, persistence, and the courage to try. Gilbert begins by emphasizing that creativity requires courage. Fear, she explains, is a natural companion to creativity because creating something new always involves uncertainty and risk. The key is not to eliminate fear but to coexist with it, allowing it to be present without letting it take over. I realized that fear had often held me back from pursuing creative projects. Thoughts like, what if I fail? Or, what will others think? Kept me stuck in a cycle of hesitation. Inspired by Gilbert's words, I decided to acknowledge my fear rather than fight it. I began telling myself, fear is allowed to come along for the ride, but it doesn't get to drive. This mindset shift helped me take the first steps toward expressing myself without being paralyzed by doubt. Gilbert's lesson taught me that courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means acting despite it. By making peace with fear, I opened the door to new possibilities and began to see creativity as an adventure rather than a threat. Each time I faced my fears, I grew stronger, proving to myself that I was capable of more than I had imagined. Gilbert describes ideas as living entities that seek willing collaborators. She believes that inspiration is always around us, waiting for someone to bring it to life. When we're open and attentive, ideas can enchant us and guide us toward creative expression. I started paying attention to the moments when inspiration struck, a sudden thought, a vivid dream, or a random observation that sparked curiosity. Instead of dismissing these moments, I began jotting them down in a notebook. I treated these ideas as gifts, trusting that they had chosen me for a reason. Over time, this practice made me more attuned to the world around me, helping me find creativity in the mundane. One of the most magical insights from this chapter was the notion that creativity is a partnership. My role wasn't to force brilliance, but to show up and collaborate with the ideas that came my way. Gilbert's perspective reminded me that inspiration is everywhere, and by staying open, I could invite it into my life more often. By treating ideas as companions rather than obligations, I began to find joy in the creative process. Many of us feel we need permission to pursue creativity, whether it's from society, our peers, or even ourselves. Gilbert challenges this notion, urging readers to claim their right to create simply because they want to. Creativity, she asserts, is a natural human impulse and doesn't require justification. For years, I had told myself that I wasn't artistic or talented enough to pursue creative endeavors seriously. Gilbert's message was liberating. I didn't need anyone's approval or a list of credentials to start. Creativity didn't have to be my profession. It could simply be my passion. I gave myself permission to experiment without worrying about the outcome. Whether it was writing a short story, painting a canvas, or learning to play an instrument, I allowed myself to create for the sheer joy of it. I stopped measuring my efforts against external standards and instead focused on the personal satisfaction they brought me. Gilbert's lesson reminded me that creativity is not about proving anything to anyone. It's about exploring what lights you up and following where it leads, regardless of the outcome. Gilbert emphasizes that creativity requires persistence. While inspiration may feel magical, the act of bringing ideas to life often involves hard work, patience, and resilience. The key is to stay committed, even when the process feels tedious or challenging. I experienced this firsthand while working on a writing project. At first, the ideas flowed easily, but as the initial excitement faded, I struggled to keep going. Gilbert's advice to show up consistently, regardless of mood or motivation, helped me push through the resistance. I realized that the difference between success and stagnation often came down to the willingness to persevere. I set small, achievable goals and celebrated each milestone, no matter how minor. Over time, I realized that persistence wasn't just about finishing projects. It was about building a creative habit. Each day that I showed up for my work, I reinforced my commitment to my craft. Gilbert's insights taught me that the creative journey is as valuable as the destination. By embracing persistence, I learned to find joy in the process itself, even when progress felt slow. One of Gilbert's most profound lessons is the importance of trust. She encourages readers to trust their creative instincts, the ideas that come to them, and the process of bringing those ideas to life. Doubts and setbacks are inevitable, but trust keeps us moving forward. I began practicing trust by letting go of the need for perfection. Instead of overthinking every detail, I focused on following my instincts and letting the work evolve naturally. This shift allowed me to approach creativity with a sense of curiosity and play rather than pressure. I discovered that mistakes and detours often led to unexpected breakthroughs, adding depth and character to my work. Gilbert's perspective reminded me that creativity doesn't have to be serious or stressful. By trusting the process, I learned to enjoy the journey and embrace the unexpected twists and turns that make creative work so rewarding. Trust became a cornerstone of my creative practice, helping me move forward with confidence even when the path ahead was unclear. Gilbert writes about the unpredictability of creativity and the importance of embracing uncertainty. She explains that creative living involves taking risks and stepping into the unknown, trusting that the outcome will be worth it. The unknown, she argues, is where growth and discovery happen. This resonated deeply with me. I realized that fear of failure had often kept me from trying new things. Inspired by Gilbert's words, I started saying yes to opportunities that scared me, whether it was sharing my work publicly or experimenting with unfamiliar mediums. Each act of bravery expanded my comfort zone and deepened my creative potential. Each time I took a leap of faith, I discovered something new about myself and my abilities. Gilbert's lesson taught me that the unknown isn't something to fear but a space for growth and discovery. By embracing uncertainty, I found the courage to explore new creative horizons and uncover hidden strengths. In the final chapter, Gilbert emphasizes that creative living is a choice. It's not reserved for artists or geniuses, but available to anyone willing to embrace curiosity, take risks, and follow their inspiration. Creativity, she explains, is about how we approach life, not just what we create. I began applying this mindset to all areas of my life. I found ways to infuse creativity into everyday routines, whether it was cooking a new recipe, decorating my space, or finding innovative solutions at work. This shift made my days feel more vibrant and meaningful. Even mundane tasks became opportunities for creative expression when approached with a playful spirit. Gilbert's insights reminded me that living creatively isn't about achieving fame or producing masterpieces. It's about engaging with the world in a way that feels authentic and fulfilling. By choosing creativity, I discovered a deeper sense of joy and connection. My life became richer and more rewarding, not because of what I created, but because of how I chose to live. Big Magic taught me that creativity is not something we have to earn or prove. It's a gift we give ourselves, a way of living boldly and authentically. What would you create if fear didn't hold you back? Remember, the magic of creativity lies not in the outcome, but in the courage to begin. By embracing curiosity and trusting the process, you can unlock a life of boundless possibilities.